Hi, this is Colin from the History Pilgrim. I hope you've been enjoying my videos and I'd be interested to hear your comments. Be sure to like and share with a friend. Today, I have an interesting story about disastrous consumer products. In the annals of consumer products that promised magic but delivered a piece of garbage, the Juicero press stands out as a marvel of misplaced ambition. At its core, the product was simple enough. A $400 machine designed to press serving packets of pre-cut fruit or vegetables into a fresh juice. On paper, it looked like a high-tech device for health-conscious customers. Juicero's business model was built around exclusivity and subscription. Consumers bought the machine, then paid extra for juice packets that the machine alone could process. The problem was you didn't need an expensive press. You could simply squeeze the packet by hand. This quickly revealed an invention which was entirely unnecessary. Adding insult to injury, the product was launched in an environment where consumers were skeptical of extravagant devices, which did not offer a clear value. A truly great product often addresses a real need with a clear improvement. Juicero instead offered a luxury solution to a basic problem, getting juice from fruit with extra cost and complexity. For buyers, this simply did not add up. The Galaxy Note 7 was introduced in August 2016 as Samsung's flagship high-end smartphone. It was supposed to compete with the best of the best, a large display, stylus support, and top-tier specs. Instead, it ended up being one of the most dramatic product failures of all time. Almost immediately after launch, reports began to surface of Note 7's lithium-ion battery overheating, swelling, and in many cases igniting or exploding. This was not a minor defect. By early September, Samsung had issued a recall of over 2.5 million units. Many users reported that the phone's operating system, though visually appealing and packed with features, was prone to lags, freezes, and crashes. Another concern was the Note 7's slim, sleek body, which left little room for heat dispersal. Even in units that didn't explode, the device was prone to becoming unbearably hot during extended use. This smartphone serves as a cautionary tale about how technological, operational, and communication failures can converge to create a disaster. When the latest release edition of SimCity, a series that was beloved by many, launched in March 2013, SimCity 5 arrived with a hefty legacy behind it, a beloved city-building franchise, decades of urban planning fans, and the promise of a new era of the strategy game. It quickly became known as the worst PC game ever made. From the start, the most glaring mistake was the always-online requirement to play, even in single-player mode. The game required players to maintain a constant connection to servers, which quickly became overloaded. Users reported the game crashing after hours of progress, or more often than not, failing to start at all. In-game key simulation systems like traffic pathing, vehicle AI, and emergency services were plagued with bugs and poor performance. Vehicles got stuck, fire trucks wandered away from the city, while buildings burned, and the city seemed less like a living system and more like a comical mess. At launch, the game sold for roughly $60. For many players, this seemed to imply the game would be very high performance. The psychological impact of the cost tarnished the reputation of Electronic Arts. Unlike free-to-play titles, where users accept microtransactions, a full-priced release carries the promise of reliability and quality. When SimCity 5 failed to meet all the most basic of functional standards, the high cost felt like theft from customers. This mismatch between consumer expectation and product delivery makes SimCity 5 well known as the worst computer game in the history of consumer products. In 1985, Coca-Cola, one of the most beloved beverage companies, launched New Coke. While intended to be a bold, innovative response to the declining market share against Pepsi, the product quickly became known as infamous. The sudden changing of the recipe of Coke led to outrage among loyal fans. Customers flooded the company with complaints, staged protests, and organized petitions for Coca-Cola Classic to return. Media coverage turned New Coke into a national punchline. Ultimately, after 79 days, Coca-Cola returned to its original flavor, but the damage in trust and loss in revenue to the brand was already staggering. In 2013, Google introduced Google Glass, a wearable augmented reality device designed to change the way people interact with technology. The sleek glasses allowed people to take photographs, record video, access information, and communicate without their hands through a small head-mounted display. Promoted as a groundbreaking innovation, the product became one of the most disastrous ever released. Google Glass had an extremely high price of $1,500. The device had privacy concerns, as it could discreetly record photos and videos, which sparked instant issues. Public spaces began banning it, and the term glass hole emerged to describe wearers who appeared socially insensitive. Additionally, the glasses were uncomfortable to wear. Ultimately, Google discontinued the product in 2015. In conclusion, the history of consumer products is filled with cautionary tales that remind us that innovation alone does not guarantee success. From ill-conceived gadgets to disastrous decisions by beverage companies, they prove that failing to anticipate human behavior can turn a potentially profitable idea into a public relations disaster. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to stay tuned for more history videos. Sincerely, the History Pilgrim.